Hi, this is Dr. Meisenhelder with Back in Motion, Chiropractic and Sports Rehab. And today we're going to start, this will be part one of a hip mobility series that I'm going to be doing for you guys. So this first drill is something I learned from Functional Range Conditioning, or FRC. Great exercise, great drill for hip mobility. It's called, they're called PAILs and rails. That stands for is progressive angular isometric loading or regressive angular isometric loading. It's a lot of words, but it just boils down to some pretty simple positional holds with some active contraction and lengthening of the stretches. So there's a lot going on here, so just taking what you can, pay attention. The sequence in total when you're doing them may last as long as 10 plus minutes, so it's a pretty involved exercise, but just stay with me here. So to start out, we start the exercise or the drill in what we call the 90-90 position. So if you look at me front on, my leg, femur here is 90 degrees to my tibia, and we do the same in the back. Try not to cheat that position, especially in the back leg. It's going to be really essential to get the most out of your hip range of motion. So I'm going to start in the front here. So what I want to start to do is I'm going to come and do a deep stretch in the front line here. So, and I want to make sure I'm getting a little extension in my back, so I'm really sort of forcing or pushing my pelvis to the floor. So I'm going to get down into the stretch until I feel some resistance in that line. Kind of move back to the left and right and find where the point of maximum resistance is, and that's going to be my hold. And I'm going to hold this for a total of 2 minutes. So it's a little longer than we typically hold stretches or have been taught to hold stretches, but the evidence is showing that minimum 2-minute hold is necessary to get a lasting change in muscle length. So hold that position. We'll fast forward to 2 minutes, and then at the 2-minute mark, what I'm going to do is progressively start to form a contraction in my core and then out into my extremities. Really want to go for a maximum body contraction here. It'll allow you to get the most force production out of this exercise. So when I've contracted my abs, I've contracted my arms, shoulders, both legs, what I'm going to do is try and drive this knee down into the floor. That's really going to load the hip structures. And I'm going to drive, drive, drive. You might get a little shake in the muscle. That's good. I'm going to do this for about 20 seconds, okay? So you're feeling a lot of fatigue after 20 seconds. At that point, I'm going to maintain the contraction, and I'm going to pull myself deeper into the stretch. And you should be able to get another 10 to 15 degrees out of the stretch. And I'm going to hold that for a couple more seconds. I'm going to relax the muscle contraction, but I'm going to stay in that new stretch position. And that's going to reset my 2-minute hold. I'll go through that whole sequence 2 or 3 times per hip. But like I said, you should be able to gain more mobility with each successive contraction. Back hip. So when I'm working on the more of the hip capsule in this position, much less range of motion. Don't expect to get these huge, 10, 15 degree changes. It's not going to happen. And it's a little more comfortable to work this hip, so just stick with it. So same start position, except now I'm going to lean myself towards my ankle. I'm going to find sort of the most uncomfortable position to be in here, and for me, it's right here. You can see it's not nearly the range of motion I had in the front. And you can help yourself by pulling with your hands a little bit. If you can do it hands-free, that's fine. I'm going to come into that stretch. It's a little more pinchy, and I'm going to hold that for 2 minutes. Then I'm going to follow that same loading pattern I did before. I'm going to develop a contraction in my core, bring it up to the rest of my body, and I'm going to try and drive this knee into the ground. It's a weaker muscle set, so it's going to be not quite the contraction you had in the front. After the 20 seconds, I'm going to maintain the contraction, try to pull myself deeper into that stretch. I might get a couple millimeters farther into it, but get what you can. I'm going to relax, and that's my new position. And again, go through that sequence 2 or 3 times in the back hip. Like I said, it's much more uncomfortable in the back hip, but that's where most of us need mobility gains. So great exercise for hip mobility. This will be a great start for you. It's more involved, more time, but I promise the results will be fantastic. So there's more to come on the hip mobility series, so just stay tuned in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have more come your way.